me crazy, but a potential change like this from within the Baltimore Ravens organization, it gave me a lot more hope, not only for the regular season, but for playoffs as well. Now, we remember last week when the Baltimore Ravens lost to the Buffalo Bills, all eyes were on John Harbaugh, and it was surprising because I'm like, oh my goodness, the national media actually not blaming Lamar Jackson because that's what we used to. The Baltimore Ravens, they could go out there and that offense could put up 55 points. Lamar Jackson could throw 20 touchdowns. But if the Baltimore Ravens lose, they say, Lamar Jackson, you should have thrown 21 touchdowns. They put up 500 yards. They will say, Lamar Jackson, you should have put up 501 yards. And y'all know how it goes. But last week was a lot different. And I was like, wow. It was very surprising to see the national media actually get on Harbaugh for how historically these Baltimore Ravens have been blowing lead after lead after lead after lead in so many games for a long time now. But I was curious to see, all right, we're going against the Cleveland Browns this week. How will the Baltimore Ravens respond? They not only won the game, but they showed a big change saying, hey, we heard what everybody said. Hey, we know we've been accused of taking our foot off the gas in so many games. We're going to show you that we're not doing that. Let's read what Jeff Zrebiec brought out. He said, Todd Monken certainly wasn't going to be accused of taking his foot off the gas this week against the Browns. Up 24 points in the final 5 minutes. So up by 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions. Up by 3 touchdowns and 3-point after touchdowns and a field goal. So up by 3 to 4 scores with 5 minutes left. Obviously, you could be, oh, game's over, that's it. But up that much. The Ravens kept throwing. They kept throwing. Said Lamar Jackson just hit DeAndre Hopkins for a 23-yard touchdown at the 4:43 mark. So these boys were up 24 points, and they said, no, that's not enough. Let's get more. We ain't used to that as Ravens fans, man. But to see the Baltimore Ravens make that change like that was an amazing thing for me. I loved it. I appreciated it so much. I don't care, because I know some people say, oh, well, it's just the Browns. You only did it against the Browns. Why are you guys getting so excited for? No. First off, we're going to celebrate every single Baltimore Ravens win that they get. But second off, did y'all not see that defense in that first half of that game? How they said, Derrick Henry, you think you about to do something to us? Nope. Lamar Jackson, you ain't going to get no passes off. Nope. Nothing's happening for you, Ravens offense. Browns, they were really holding us down big time. But the Baltimore Ravens did what the Baltimore Ravens do, and they made adjustments. And then they came out firing. It was all over after that. So they responded not only at halftime, but just continuously throughout. He also said, it's 41-10, and I imagine the Browns probably didn't appreciate that. We appreciated it as Ravens fans because we're not used to that. Now, get this. This took it a step further. This was after the game, and this came from Cordell Williams. He said, Harbaugh said that he told his guys that the game's not over as they entered the fourth quarter. So the Ravens were up, and they were up by a significant amount of points, but Harbaugh gave them a reminder. He let them know, hey, the game is not over. And that's the exact opposite of what we heard last week. Remember, Marlon Humphrey, he said, hey, Harbaugh called us immature. Marlon Humphrey said, hey, we knew what was coming from the Bills, but we still didn't stop it. Odafe Away said, hey, we really wanted to beat this team real bad, and we were beating them really bad, but we felt like we had the game won already, so we were just chilling. And when I saw that, I said, oh, my goodness, that is terrible. But that's a mentality that comes directly from the head coach. But John Harbaugh saying, hey, my mentality's different now, guys. I'm a changed man, guys. I ain't the same John Harbaugh that I used to be, guys. Now, I know a lot of y'all are going to say, hey, John Harbaugh, he does this every single year. If Ravens lose, yeah, he usually responds and bounces back, has a couple of good games, and then we may have a down. We may have a great season too, though. But in the playoffs, they revert back to the same exact thing. But I seriously do believe that this is the wake-up call that the Baltimore Ravens didn't necessarily need, because I never will say, oh, the Ravens needed to lose that game. Oh, no, I never feel like a team should take a loss for them to realize something, because even when you win, you still got to realize the things that you need to improve on. But that loss against the Bills was a wake-up call that obviously was needed. It was a shake-up that was well needed for the Baltimore Ravens and for their organization, so they can make this significant change from within and to be proactive instead of reactive. So John Harbaugh, he showed a lot of progress this week, and I know a lot of y'all going to be like, nah, man, it's just 1 week. Let's see what really happens throughout the rest of the season, and I'm with you. Oh, trust me, I am, because consistency is key. Continuity is key, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt moving forward. Again, we're going to see how things work out, but it seems as if John Harbaugh may just finally get it. Speaking of these changes that the Baltimore Ravens organization is making from within, something I really appreciated about them last year, and they've shown a bit of it this year too, is them making the tough decisions. Guys not playing up to standards. Marcus Williams, their $70 million safety. Eddie Jackson, their free agent acquisition from last year. Trenton Simpson, somebody who we expected to replace Patrick Queen in the starting lineup next to Roquan Smith. Last year they said, hey, if y'all not cutting it, y'all got to go to the bench, and that's exactly what they did. Fast forward to this season, you see Jair Alexander, free agent acquisition, one of the best cornerbacks in the game. And the Ravens said, oh, we saw what you did in that Bills game. You're not ready yet. You're going to the bench. But somebody else who they benched too during the Bills game was Trenton Simpson yet again. But see, I'm not here to talk about them benching Trenton Simpson because, again, that is showing them making a tough decision because he was expected to be a starter this year. He was a starter this year until that Bills game. And then we see in the Browns game from the first defensive snap, it was Roquan Smith and Teddy Buchanan. So it looks like the rookie is going to be remaining the starter from this point moving forward. But there's a bit of inconsistency with that. Because you look at some guys who may not be playing up to the best standards for the Baltimore Ravens, and one of those guys is Daniel Falele, and he has not and probably will not be benched. Daniel Falele, I gave him a lot of leeway for that first game. Stuff happens. I get it. It was their first game. A lot of them ain't played preseason together. So, all right, you still getting some stuff figured out. But then there was a lot of that in the second game as well. And it's very concerning because it just makes you wonder, do they have a better option than Daniel Falele at right guard? And I'm not trying to pile it on Daniel Falele at all because I know a lot of people do that. But at the same time, you wonder if the Baltimore Ravens are truly making all the hard decisions or they're just leaving some of them out. Now, something else that was a positive change for the Baltimore Ravens was Roquan Smith in that Browns game. My goodness, he ain't played like that in a long time, and we all noticed it, but we all loved it. That man was flying around the field. He was tackling everything. He was really moving like crazy. The wildest part about the game is there was one play where he blitzed, and I didn't see the number on the back of his jersey. I actually thought it was Marlon Humphrey. And when I saw that number 0 on the back of the jersey during the replay, I said, oh my, I really thought that was Hump. So that just goes to show just how much and how fast he was moving. But let's hear where he might have got some of that motivation from.
Hunt. They hunt. Lead them to hunt, bro. 60 minutes this time. You understand? Finish this, man. They gonna follow your lead.
So glad Ray Lewis was there, and I appreciated every single thing that he said with that part. He said 60 minutes this time, because they know last time they ain't play for 60 minutes. He said, you got to finish the job, man. And he said, they are going to follow your lead. And that's exactly what this defense did. Roquan showed the way, and the defense followed. A crazy stat. Shout out to Ryan Mink for bringing this to my attention. But he said the following. Roquan Smith hit 19.06 miles per hour on his 63-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown per Next Gen Stats. It was the fastest he's run over the past 3 seasons. So you see, maybe they just need to have Ray Lewis come out every single game and get him a pep talk. So now we made it to my favorite part of the videos where we get to hear your questions. If you would like to take part in it, send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. Or if you want to show the channel a little extra love and support, you can become a Team Keep It Clean patron by going to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Let's hear from some of our Team Keep It Clean patrons. First question came from my guy, Alex. He said, life without number one. Hey, how's it going? Hope all is well with you and the family. I appreciate it, Alex. He said, my question is, what will life be without number one? Not number 8, because I know that will change after this season. I've been a fan of the Baltimore Ravens who live in Canada my whole life since I was 13 years old. old. I'm now 29. I've been a fan of the Ravens because of Ray Lewis and his energy. Also, the amazing defense that we had. I never really started watching the draft until 2018, surprisingly, with my friend who was a Browns fan at the time where Lamar Jackson was drafted. I fell in love with Lamar Jackson ever since we picked him up in the last pick of the first round where we traded back in with the Eagles. That was so exciting. I now watch every single draft. He has been my favorite player ever since, and I feel spoiled having him as my quarterback. Oh, you should. You really should. Lamar Jackson is extremely special, as you already know. But anyway, continue. He said, every year he surprises me. Like, what can't he do? That's such a great question. You could have ended it right there. What can't he do? What can't he do? I'm sure he can do everything. I was even watching something with Donovan Mitchell telling a story about how when they were at Louisville together, and he said that they used to just be practicing basketball together. And he said Lamar Jackson will be doing windmills and stuff and dunking and doing all this stuff, doing 360s and all that. I said, well, you know what? At first I was surprised, but at the same time, like, hold up, that's Lamar Jackson, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. Anyway, continuing, he said, every year, he gets better, and now he has broken Aaron Rodgers' highest passer rating of all time, along with most rushing yards by a quarterback of all time over Michael Vick. I can't ever take Lamar Jackson for granted, and I don't know what it's going to be like for the Ravens and us fans when he is gone, because he is unmatched. That's real right there. Like, he is one of one. He is that guy. And yeah, like you said earlier, that jersey number is changing to one soon enough. But anyway, he said also, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I've been rocking with you ever since the Madden days and the car streams. I appreciate that, Alex. That's a long time, especially the Madden days, boy. And even the car streams too, man. I appreciate that. Because I appreciate it. Because there's a lot of people that I'm sure they was around back then, but they're like, I ain't watching this dude from the car. I can't blame him either. But I appreciate you for that, man. I appreciate you sticking around through that process, through that period. Because, yeah, that's special, man. So thank you, man. Thank you for being there through those times. There was a lot of uncertainty with me personally and life and work life and stuff like that. But, yeah, I appreciate you for real, man. Thank you. He said, your content has been amazing, and you're my go-to guy for all Ravens news. I watch every live stream during the games and like every video you post. Never stop pushing, GOAT. Thanks again, GOAT, for everything. Shout out to my guy, Alex. I appreciate you, man. Next question came from another Teamkeepitclean patron, my guy Martin. He said, today gave me one of my favorite moments as a sports fan. I saw a photo of Lamar Jackson and Flacco having a wholesome moment. Not only are these my two favorite players of all time, they are also awesome people as well. I hope to one day meet Lamar and see the amazing human being he is. I met Flacco once in a quick interaction after the game. Oh, that's cool. And I hope you get to meet Lamar Jackson too. Again, like we always say, super, super cool, super, super approachable, super, super down to earth. Just an extremely nice person, man. But yeah, that photo of him and Flacco hugging, that was real, man. That wasn't just real quick, what's up? That was a real hug. Like, they embraced each other. It's a lot of love right there between them two. Next question came from my guy, Chris. He said, Ingraven, hope all is well with you and the family. I appreciate that, Chris. He said, I'm a loyal watcher of your channel. I'm actually watching the one about the hidden problem that could destroy the Baltimore Ravens season. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you for being very specific, too. He said, I agree with what your other watchers are writing and saying. Harbaugh's being too conservative in games, defense not turning the ball over, poor tackling, not pushing the guys hard enough, poor clock management, setting up plays to be predictable, and on and on. Now, again, like we were saying earlier in this video, hopefully a lot of that's changing because, again, they did show a lot of change in that Browns game. Let's just hope it continues. He said, I'm a subscriber to the NFL Plus app too, with the all 22 features. It gives us the same film the coach is watching. You can see in that Buffalo game, the corners were playing too soft a lot and not pressing the wide receivers enough to mess up their timing. Push them in within the first 5 yards to break their stride and mess up their timing with the QB. That's true. And even us that just watch it on a broadcast view, we could see that. So I know y'all all 22 boys. I know y'all got it for sure. So appreciate you bringing that up. He said, by the cornerbacks messing up the wide receiver timing, it gives the pass rushers a few seconds to get to the quarterback. It seemed like they were playing too soft. Did you see how much time Allen had half the game? Yes, it was frustrating to watch, man. He said, I'm sure you've seen it too. Those soft coverages played into that, plus the weak pass rush. The cornerback pressing the wide receiver and the pass rusher's job play hand in hand. It don't get no more realer than that. Appreciate that. He said, I'm not an expert, but I played high school ball in Western Maryland. Fun fact, I actually played for Allegheny High School, Ty Johnson, the Bills running back's rival. Ty played for Fort Hill. Cumberland is a small town. I lived in LaVale and went to Allegheny many years before Ty was in school, LOL. Mid-90s was my high school years. When Fort Hill High plays Allegheny High, it's huge in that small town. It's like a local Super Bowl. Okay, that's cool that you got to be a part of that. And it's cool when you got like NFL guys that whether they went to your school or they played against your school, you got to play against them. That's always cool to hear. I appreciate stories like this a lot, man. He said, anyway, there's absolutely too much great talent on that team for them to keep coming up short. Bingo. My question is, should we fire Zach Orr and replace him with Chuck Pagano sooner rather than later, or who else is a better option to lead our beloved Ravens defense? I hope it's not a late season thing and we hurt ourselves with playoffs or playoff standing. What's your thoughts? I think, let's see, because the Browns game was a nice start. not a start because it's really started in the Bills game. But the Browns game was a nice bounce back. But let's see how Zach Orr does moving forward because, like we talked about with the season last year, in the beginning, he was going against a bunch of really good quarterbacks. There were some not as good quarterbacks in there as other guys, but in the beginning of the season, he was going against some amazing quarterbacks, and the defense was looking really bad. But then toward the end of the season, the last 7 games, he wasn't going against the best of the best quarterbacks every time. I know Jalen Hurts was in there, but it wasn't the best of the best every single time, and the defense looked a lot better. So let's see how he does this year now with all this personnel, all these talent on defense. Like you said, they too talented, they too great of a team to be getting just dogged like that on defense. So let's see how he does against Jared Goff, against Patrick Mahomes. Oh, man, I was about to say against Joe Burrow, but that's probably not going to happen. That's crazy, man. That whole thing with Joe Burrow is crazy, man. It really is, man. Feel for him, man. That's tough. That's tough, man, because he keep dealing with injury after injury after injury after injury after injury after injury after injury. It's crazy, man. It sucks, man. But anyway, he said, you probably seen my comments on your YouTube channel before. My tag is the Stuttering Truth, the Stutter Man. All the best to you. I sincerely wish you and your family the best. Cheers from Central Maryland. Chris Stutter MCC. Hey, I appreciate you, my friend.